Hello everyone and welcome back to Let's Play Final Fantasy VII. In the last part we did our raid on Midgar and I brought Barrett along for one specific reason, this chest which has his ultimate weapon, the missing score. You can only open that if he's with you. This ultimate weapon's little specialty is that the more AP it has on it, or I forget if it's on the weapon or the his armor slot as well, the more damage it'll do.
Oh, so just give him a bunch of maxed out materia and then you're good.
Yes, there is one exception to that, but we'll get to that in a moment. For right now, let's go over the first enemy here. This is a soldier first class, 5,000 HP, 960 experience points, 90 AP, 2,400 gil, no elemental weaknesses. You can steal Shinra alphas from it, which could be good at this point in the game, and I think they can silence you.
Could be good at this point. Don't those nullify or like half damage certain? I think it might be nullify fire.
That's a maybe. Let's take a look here. Actually, no, it's no specialty. It's just pretty high defense. 3 double linked materia slots. So
I knew there was something good about it that made me want to get it, and that it was the double linked materia slots.
At this point, I already have everything I need because I have the adamant bangles. I have especially the mistile that we got at the end of the last part, which is my favorite armor piece in the game in the PlayStation version. I should note, because due to the magic defense bug, it's not as good in the other versions. Because they made things work properly. That's no fun.
They've got to take the fun out of everything.
Barrett, I think it's dead. Hunger Max is really good.
I do kind of wish that most Final Fantasy games did what Final Fantasy X did, and if you hit an enemy with stone, it shattered.
Oh, absolutely.
That would kind of, like, it would suck, but it would be really kind of cool, in my personal opinion. Like in 9, for example. At the same time, if you like, for example, if you're trying to do a level 1 challenge, which I've done in the past, it's very, very, very difficult. And you accidentally hit someone with stone, and it hits, if they shatter, you'll probably still get the experience for it.
Yeah, the only part I didn't like about that part of the petrification in 10 is whenever you got petrified underwater in those 2 specific boss fights.
Eraser.
Ugh. Also, hi, Hojo. How you doing, asshat?
I figured eraser was just he pulls out a giant pencil eraser and just... Like, I feel like there should be some parody of that, where it's just like, Shinryu is like, hey, eraser, and then there's some hand comes out with an eraser and erases, like, Riku from existence. It's like, character error, take her out. Sorry, Tara Strong.
Damn. But, Matt, Hojo's not even really paying us I'm sorry, you're what?
Oh. Son? He's your child? My child!
Well, they kind of already hinted to this back during the Vincent side quest we did about 8 parts ago now, I want to say?
Yeah.
But Hojo is Sephiroth's father. Goddamn! This is a messed up family.
Yeah.
But that also means, that's one of the things I kind of like about 7, and they're not afraid to shout this out. Hojo is basically to blame for everything in this game. The only thing that's not him is Shinra itself, and even then, the soldier program would not have progressed as far as it did without him. But all the same, for Lucrezia, for the world, so that you don't drain Mako from the planet more than you need to, Hojo, you gotta die.
You gotta die.
And the second to last time I think this song plays in the game. Makes me sad. Alright, to start off, Hojo is going to summon a couple little pods. Let's have Kenny go off with the main dude himself.
Yeah, so first off is the main fight against Hojo. He's got 13,000 HP, no experience, no AP, no gil. He doesn't drop anything, nor can you steal anything from him, but that there's a reason for that. He's immune to gravity, obviously, because he's a boss. Really nothing special. He's very, very, very weak. couple Bahamut attacks will probably take care of him. I think that's Vincent's limit break that you're using. For a second, I thought that was like, that's a weird looking Bahamut.
Yeah, that's Chaos, which, as Dirge of Cerberus would go over, is quite the player in the 7 universe. And also, weird to see him go from final boss in the first game to this. And as for his 2 pods, even though I just killed one of them, the one on the right was the bad rap sample. 11,000 HP, 2,000 experience points, 150 AP, 2,200 gil. I can poison you, but that's about it for that one. And the Poodler sample on the left has 10,000 HP, 2,000 experience points, 150 AP, 2,000 gil. No elemental weaknesses. I think it can just cast a fire attack on you, but otherwise it's pretty simple. As you can see, having something that can put things to sleep is very useful here. In fact, the contained materia on weapons is still one of the best combinations in the game.
It's very, very OP. There's a lot of things that I've learned over the course of these LPs that I do with Kyle. I learned things about even games that I figured I knew like the back of my hand. Although I feel like I'm probably going to teach him something about Final Fantasy IX when we get to that.
Oh, you're absolutely, especially with the experimenting you've been doing recently where you figured out all those little calculation stuff, because he's been going ham on it on his personal time recently. But yeah, the reason Hojo is so easy is that he's a multi-stage boss fight. Now we're at Heletic Hojo, which I think is supposed to be Heretic Hojo or something along those lines. 26,000 HP. This thing can, it has a left and right arm that it will constantly revive if you try to kill them or not, but the main thing you just want to focus on is the main body. It can put you to sleep, silence you. I think it can. I think most of its attacks can inflict status ailments. Now that I think about it, but otherwise, as long as you just keep up the constant offense, you should be fine. Magic Breath's going to be a good friend here, as are things like Chaos. If you can get Barrett's level 3 Unger Max or Catastrophe off, since I brought him with me, and you should bring him with you too, just to get the missing score, you should have more than enough attack ready to go out against him.
Yeah. I wish I had something to say about this boss, but I don't remember anything about him. He's not very memorable because he's not really hard at all. The only thing really kind of interesting is just what he looks like, and of course the plot point, for obvious reasons.
Honestly, and this might sound strange, but I think they should have reversed this in Proud Claude in terms of boss order, because Hojo, Shinra is arguably the bigger threat in the game for the most part, and Hojo's not exactly Shinra. He's kind of his own third party, and having the Proud Claude as a final end to the Shinra saga could have been, I think, more entertaining as a final boss of Disc 2, because this is the final boss of Disc 2, by the way. So maybe something like that could have been done, but eh. I remember reading the strategy guide that we had for this as a kid, the Prima Games one, and I always remember looking at this particular boss fight and just wondering what the absolute hell.
Yeah, I mean, nothing. This one didn't weird me out a whole lot. Final Fantasy VII already kind of threw some strange things at me. I figured Hojo would be something alright. After seeing Unknowns 1, 2, and 3, this was nothing to look at.
Yeah, that's a fair point.
Alright, so now we have Lifeform Hojo. He's got 30,000 HP, 25,000 EXP, 2,500 AP, 6,000 gil. Drops a power source upon his defeat. So if you can do that W item glitch thing that Kyle was working around not too long ago, I believe, you can do some amazing things with that power source. You can cap out all your strength if you want to.
The place I'd actually recommend doing that for capping out anything with sources and cloning it with the W item.
Probably Nibel Mountain. Nibel Mountain.
I was actually going to say Sector 5, down in the bottom of Midgar, because the enemies there will do so little damage to you that you don't have to worry about a thing. I know something speedrunners do is they also use that area, but they use it for the thief enemies, because they can have the item be stolen from them, get it back, and then clone it from there. Alright, let's see how
it
Catastrophe
after getting
shapes
it
up.
back?
Yes, I think they need to do that for certain items to be actually usable for cloning. Because there are some specifics to cloning, but it's overall still really easy. Okay, god damn. Samus's final smash? Huh. Didn't know you had it in you, Barrett.
What is that, satellite beam?
No, that was Catastrophe.
Oh, no, I've never seen Catastrophe before.
Oh, don't get me wrong. Hunger Max is overall the better limit break, but it doesn't look as cool. And that's the end of Hojo.
And the end of Disc 2, Smile.
With that, there's only one real threat left.
His son.
Yep. Well, technically two. Him and the giant rock hurtling through space at us. Just looming over us. Yeah, it's kind of a big one too.
Yeah.
But take care of one, take care of the other. Also, it took me until very recently, and by very recently I mean during this LP, I thought the thing on the back of Ketchi was the number 1, shouting out to number 1 and 2 Ketchis from before and after the Temple of the Ancients. But no, that's a zipper. Alright, but with that said, with only the final battle ahead of us, people are feeling, I guess, a little unsure of themselves?
After all they've faced.
Yeah, I mean, I can understand it to a certain extent because there's the threat and then there's the big threat. But because we're going towards our final battle, everyone was gonna have some time to themselves just to spend a day doing what they want to do. Because Barrett obviously has Marlene to go see, Red has Bugenhagen. Everyone here has things to do. Just for final, I guess getting your affairs in order is the way I want to phrase it.
Yeah.
Because it is basically a suicide mission. Cloud doesn't really have anything to do because at this point, with his hometown gone, Aerith gone, Sephiroth's the only thing left on his bucket, really.
That sounds like Bart's, which is pretty sad.
Oh wow, that is kind of Bart's-like, isn't it? Holy shit.
Except he doesn't really have any, like, love interest that he lost, really. He still has Boko, too. But he lost his hometown to the Void. The Void.
This is probably one of my favorite scenes in the game because it's the one time they realize, yeah, we're in some dangerous shit. So everyone's got to go off the ship and find their reasons to fight. Now, the only thing I'm not sure about in this scene, I'm not sure what Vincent and Yuffie do. Because obviously, like, Ketchi is Reeve, so he has stuff to take care of over in Midgar. Red's going to see Bugenhagen. If I recall correctly, Sid's going to see Shara. Barrett Marlene. I would assume Yuffie's going to see her father. But what does Vincent have?
Lucretia's Shrine?
I guess the Lucrezia Cave, yeah. And the reason I ignored Tifa and all that is she's basically in the same boat as Cloud. Ah, that's depressing.
It's a mad world we live in Final Fantasy VII.
So these two are just kind of sit around. Also, I think these models are more detailed than the ones we usually have in the field. Because I don't think the models usually have mouths like Tifa does right now. Now, something that I have not talked about thus far is, or at least in a while, is dating mechanics. The one last dating mechanic thing in the game is coming up. Depending on your relationship values with Tifa, her reaction to something upcoming changes. I'll talk more about that when the time comes.
Oh, this scene. I remember this. I don't know, I've had a date with Tifa every time, so my result was always the same.
I've had an Aerith run or two, and I want to say I've done a Yuffie run, but I actually can't remember or not, because I've played this game too many times. I've seen the Yuffie scenes, but that's about it. So these two have a very strange relationship at this point. After you kind of dive into the live stream to fix the other's mind, that's a solid friendship there, or more so. I would suppose I know you inside And out. Oh, what's up, Cloud?
It's sad that I don't remember anything about these scenes, really. Because it's been... Oh god, how long has it been since I last played this game? A year and a half, maybe?
This scene will always be cemented in my mind for one reason. There's a certain YouTuber I follow who, after one of the VGX, one of the video game awards, I want to say 4 years ago now, did a live stream series of this on Twitch. The dude read Cloud's lines as Bentley from Sly Cooper, and his friend, who was also on stream, read Tifa's lines as Meat Wad from Aqua Teen Hunger Force. That changed my perspective on this scene forever.
Oh my days.
But yeah, they shared a tender moment under the sunlight, fell asleep on each other like this. And depending on your relationship values, they also imply some more erogenous things. Oh, that's adorable. I'm looking forward to whatever part of the remake this scene's in. I just realized, I think that's the exact same render of the Highwind they use for that one part of the instruction manual that has Aerith looking up at it. If not, it's very similar.
I wouldn't know because I didn't have a guide.
Oh no, this is on like the instruction manual.
I don't have that. I didn't have that either.
Oh, you were missing the instruction manual? Ah, that's a mood. That's me with several games. Heck, my copy of Mega Man X4, I had to print out my own cover for it because I got it used from a GameStop.
Oh.
Alright, guess it's time for Cloud and Tifa to head up to the Highwind and see if anyone else found their reasons. So how are they going to get back up there? Is the ladder down? Because I don't see a ladder.
I always figured that it faded to black and then like the rope was there or something. That'd be my guess.
That's fair enough. I mean, either that or they pull some Advent Children anti-gravity bullshit. God, I love that movie. It's so stupid, but that's like the one thing I look at and I go, what? And yeah, with just the two of them, this airship's pretty quiet. Also, I'm just now realizing there's a second floor beneath the main floor here.
Yeah, you didn't know that?
I didn't notice that. I have been way too focused on where I'm walking. And it sounds like the Highwind's taken off.
Who's there?
Hello? Who's here? Yo!
Sid.
Barrett, Sid.
It's everyone.
There's Red.
Dog.
Yeah, but apparently some of them got back way earlier and just spent the night in the Highwind. Because they were watching that whole thing, apparently. And this is the thing that changes right here depending on your reaction, or your relationship values with her. If you're above a certain point, she looks embarrassed, implying the sexual things that I talked about earlier. If you're below that threshold, she just kind of looks pissed.
How can you tell? They're polygons.
Motions, like she punches a wall or something.
I assume that's like super pissed.
Oh yeah! Oh god, my eyes.
Oh.
But nah, Reeve's back. And now that I think about it, with Rufus dead as far as this game's concerned and the other execs done, doesn't that make Reeve potentially default CEO? Unless there's another Shinra kid.
Well, that's up to the board of the... if we're talking technically, that's up to the board of directors. But, could be the new president, I guess.
He's the only one left of the board of directors. But the whole gang's here. I would say I'm surprised, but it's a video game.
Everyone is here.
Story-wise, it makes sense, but like game-wise, they're not going to take your entire party away before the final dungeon. I've only played one game that did that, I think.
And it was...
Well, technically two. Tales of Symphonia, you lose your party throughout the first half of the final dungeon, then get them back right before the second. And you lose a good amount of your party before the final dungeon in some Abyss as well, but again, you get them back as you go. Or rather, you're separated from them. But yeah, to the Northern Crater for Aerith. Even though we gotta let go of her memory because we have to make sure we fight for the future instead of the past. Or some other anime bullshit like that.
Oh my god.
I love this game. Can you tell? There ain't no getting off this train. Air train.
Right, no getting off this mean train.
So, hold up a second. The High Winds had rocket propellers in it the entire time? You don't think that would have come in handy sooner?
I would have thought so. Jeez.
I mean, I guess we're getting there faster. We're just gonna crash right into the crater at this rate, though.
Do you really need rocket propellers? I mean, you can get there in a perfectly reasonable amount of time for the most part.
To this day, I don't know why the High Wind has this upgrade, like storyline or gameplay-wise, because it doesn't speed the High Wind up at all if you use it in the overworld after this. It's just there to look cool. I guess they realized, we leaned a bit too far into steampunk here for a second. Let's go back to full-on cyberpunk. And with that fade to black, that is the end of Disc 2, but we're not quite done yet. There is, I think, a couple more things we want to do before we end off. Though I do want to save as usual, because I don't like changing the discs in any multi-disc game on the PlayStation without saving first, just in case something messes up.
Yeah, I don't do that with Final Fantasy IX. I haven't done it with any of them. Yeah, I'm in that same boat.
I think one time I did it in, I want to say 9. I messed up with, like I accidentally bumped the console the wrong way, and it caused the entire game to freeze. And I had to go back. Thankfully, I was right before the end of the disc anyway, so that's not a far save to go back.
Right
but
before the big thing that happens.
Yeah, but no, it wasn't too far. Now, the game leads you right into the crater because we're there right now. But I do want to leave because since we're on the final disc, of course, some final side quests have opened up, which we're going to be doing over the next part and a half, I think. I don't think we enter the final dungeon until part 34. So for those of you here for a complete storyline, sorry.
You're gonna have to wait your turn. Now it's time for the completionists.
And I'd also like to note, I think I mentioned on this LP before that I deleted my brother's save file this when I was really young and stupid, and when he was right near the end of the game. He was here. He was right here. Oh, that thing looks scary. Chris, if you're watching this, I'm sorry. I know I played the game through for you just because I wanted to be the kind younger brother, but I am very sorry. Yeah, it's been probably over 15 years, but things like that never change, and apparently Boggans House not doing too well. Shit, we should head on up to his house. Now, I think you technically could have done this... No, actually, no, I don't think you could do this in Disc 2. Vincent, let's leave this to Red. Well, this is probably one of the most downer scenes in the game. Because Red's already had a pretty tough life. He's the last of his species, as far as we're aware. His father was a mess up before he realized he wasn't. His mother's dead. His only family has been Boggans House. And now he's dying. I mean, the guy's over Actually, I don't think they ever talked about a canonical age for the dude, but he's at least over 150,
he said,
I'd estimate.
yeah, I know for a fact it mentions his age at least once. I can see if I can pull it up here.
The dude's ancient, but he's still human. But he has one last gift for Nanaki.
I typed in how old is Boggans, and it says 31. I'm not talking about the wrestler.
There's an image.
Boggans is 130 years old.
130, goddamn.
Well, he's 129. He mentions he'll be 130 years old at his next birthday.
Ah, that's rough. And a more depressing part of this scene, Red's almost in denial? And God, that hurts. But he did give us one last gift, the limited moon.
I mean, if you follow the 5 stages of grief model, there you go.
Yeah, denial's first. But he did give us the limited boon, which is Red 13's ultimate weapon. It works similarly to Sid's, but we'll get to Sid's in I think next part or something. I forget if we already have his or not. Where its damage is multiplied based off Red's ratio of MP. The closer it is to its max, the more damage it'll do. That's actually one of my favorite ultimate weapons, and I think I'll even be using it on him in the final dungeon because of that. And now we're back in calm all of a sudden because there is something we can do now. You might remember 4 or 5 parts ago now, I forget the exact amount, we transformed that ghost ship at the underwater reactor. Now we can do something about that in Disc 3. This guy here is the Calm Traveler. He's looking for certain items for his travels, the guidebook that we got from the ghost ship, a desert rose, and an earth harp. We have that, so we can get it. Trade it to him for an underwater materia. What this does in the one instance there's an underwater battle in Final Fantasy VII, it gets rid of the 20-minute time limit.
Yeah.
Before a game automatically happens.
Not too difficult to defeat Emerald Weapon in that amount of time, in the 20 minutes that you're given, but it's still kind of recommended that you
Better safe than sorry. Better safe than sorry. Something I thought about that materia for a long time as well. By the way, this is just me showing up I think the last limit breaks that I haven't shown off yet to get everyone to level 4. For a while I thought the underwater materia was really good for Barrett's missing score weapon because since it doesn't level up, it could just hold infinite AP. But that's not true. They actually programmed it so that the underwater materia is constantly treated as having 0 AP for missing score. Though the materia can be mastered, it just takes over 16 million AP.
Doesn't it sell for not much either?
Yeah, it's just for this side quest. And even then, even though we'll get to this more in depth when we fight the weapons, the underwater materia, I believe, is also US exclusive in its original release because the 2 super bosses were US exclusive. It's the rare case where the West got the international/final mix of a game before even Japan did.
Hey, that's cool.
A pattern Square would not keep
I was gonna
ever
say, I
again.
wish they would do that more often. Come on, Square. Be nice to your American audience.
They finally got around to it, thankfully. Because with the PS3, we finally got 10 and 12 international. We got the Kingdom Hearts final mixes. Like 2 years ago, I think we got the World Ends With You final mix. You know, I think that was technically more of a remake for everyone than just one region at a time. They're getting better about it. Limit breaks on the whole, the only reason I'm showing this off is just for the sake of completeness. A lot of them are useful, but I'm not going to be using a lot of them from here on out because given that there's only so much left, I'm not going to have a chance to use every single party member. Tifa is one of the more useful ones just on the aspect of it being all of them at once, though. With that said, this is probably my favorite version of the limit break system we had for a while, because I don't like the aura system in 8. God, Trance has problems in 9.
Trance has so many problems.
Overdrive, I think, was the next best thing we got for a while, because it had various modes that you could adapt it to your playstyle, And while technically maybe only 3 or 4 characters were ever useful with it, because Titus, Waka, and Riku are the obvious examples, Kamari was pretty useless outside of a few battles.
Rip.
Orange was useful.
It's only because he starts in the middle of the sphere grid. That's the problem.
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong, I can take good advantage of it because that allows me to put him down Lulu's path pretty early on. But yeah, okay, now here we are. We're back in Rocket Town because now I can get Sade's ultimate weapon, the Venus Gospel. It works the same as Red's. I actually could have gotten this, I think, before the Midgar raid, but I forgot to go get it. Just plain and simple. That is also one of my favorite ultimate weapons, just because of how it works, and it's also pretty powerful.
My favorite ultimate weapon is probably still the ultimate weapon.
Oh yeah, the ultimate weapon's great. Iconic look, but also just extraordinarily powerful.
Yeah.
But with that, we're going to need to end this off here. Thank you guys for watching, and in part 33, we're going on some side quests.
Oh boy.
See you guys then.
And now it's time to kill Emerald Weapon.